Alright, hello and welcome everyone. We have another set in Alchemy League. This is Season 2, of course. This is the second set that I've had the privilege of casting for Alchemy League. And we have a mirror matchup between Hyder and Max Power 973, an Italian mirror matchup to be specific, on the map Fortress. So Fortress, you start with a castle, you start with a barracks, you start with walls, you start with some towers around your base. I chose this one over Arena just because even though I love Arena, we see all kinds of tournaments on Arena. And Fortress is a little bit less meta. We had to go with standard maps for Alchemy League Season 2, as many of you probably know, because our custom maps were not going to be ready. We're close, but we were not quite there. So unfortunately, I made the tough decision to do standard maps for Season 2. So while these guys are getting set up, let's take a look at the statistics for these players. In terms of the week by week, we can see very little. We see that Hyder is indicated as the higher seed for week 1, and Max Power 973 is the lower seed, but there's no handicap. So we know that these guys are within 200 ELO. Let's take a look at the full apparent scoring here. We can see that Hyder comes in with a tournament ELO of 1710.52, and Max Power 973 comes in with an ELO of 1629.70. So it looks like they are about 100 ELO apart, maybe a little bit less than that. But guys, remember that Hyder played in Alchemy League Season 1, so he kind of knows our style a little bit better. So I'm going to give him the advantage here. I haven't seen these sets or what's going to happen with these sets, so I'm not sure. But if I had to guess, I would give Hyder an advantage, just because he's been with us a little bit longer. But we're really happy to have Max Power 973 join. Looking forward to learning more about him. I mean, all I know is basically what it says next to his profile. Hyder, though, is an Italian player. He's come a long way. He actually played, I've known Hyder for a long time. He played in the King of Ireland tournament, actually, way, way back, when I first got into tournaments, and then I didn't do tournaments for a while. And I reached out to him because I remembered him. One of the defining features about Hyder is that when he was young, he had a pet duck. I always like to learn these fun things about random people in the community, because they're people just like you are. So anyway, so Hyder, higher seed, and he's been in Alchemy League Season 1, so I give him a little bit of an edge here. We'll see how he does. Of course, the ELOs are competitive here. I think anybody can win. Let's take a look at these windows here. It looks like Max Power has a really large window. Hyder has a window of about 400, but Max Power has a window of, it's similar-ish. All right, so this is all statistically calculated. We've got the most advanced ELO calculation program that's out there. I don't think anybody in the world has developed something that can account for win rate in ELO calculation, although they could if they went and read the documents that I published online without telling me, and then understood them and implemented them, which I would actually be quite impressed. I wouldn't even be upset at that point. I'd be like, you know what, man? Go for it. That's why I published it there. Would have been nice to know that people are using it, if that is the case, but I doubt it. They're probably just fine. Usually what happens is when people don't have the technical ability to do something, they just make up excuses for why it's unimportant. That's generally something that I found. So, if you want to try something new, and everybody else says it's a waste of time, or that it can't be done, it probably just means that they can't do it. So definitely try pushing the envelope here. We had this seeding method in place for Alchemy League Season 1, or a little bit more primitive version of it, and I'm glad that I've had the chance to expand upon it since then. And I'm looking forward to continuing to add to it. But if you hear anybody tell you they have a more advanced seeding program or seeding method, I would love to meet that person, because I don't believe it. Alright, so that's fine. So now we'll get into the game. That's what you guys came for, but I just wanted to show you where they were at. So Max Power 973 is in the yellow, but his in-game name is called Mark Landers. And apparently somebody made a Spearman. I think that these guys are making Spearman because they intend to go out and contest the relics. we can see that Hyder is out here scouting around looking for the relics. Let's see who spotted more relics. Well, actually, Hyder's found 2 relics. He found one just now. And, of course, he found one over here closer to Max Power's base. But Hyder doesn't know about this relic yet, and he doesn't know about this one either. What can Italians do on this map? Well, I love Fast Imp Monk Treb. I think it's pretty fun. It's pretty rad, actually. Italians could do it well because they have cheaper age advancement. Their Imperial Age is not as cheap as the Byzantine Imperial Age, but their Feudal Age and Castle Age are cheaper, and it actually might be overall similar resources, just, you know, staggered up. I think it's important to note, guys, that Hyder has made a stable, and he's actually making scouts here, so, oh no, wait, yeah, no, these are marked landers. Wait a second, am I colorblind or something? Oh, guys, I am so colorblind. Alright, Max Power is over here. Alright, Max Power is over here, and Hyder is the one who's over here. So, Max Power is going into scouts, guys. Remember that he is in the 1600s, so these guys can do all kinds of scouts builds with, like, crazy starts where you start with extra villagers, and they can make it happen and be pretty efficient. They're pretty good. You might see a 1300 player, like, approximate something, but in general, these guys will come up with decent builds to be able to accomplish strategies. So Hyder gets to the Castle Age, and he's immediately putting down a town center, and he's building a monastery. Yeah, so everything that I said about Max Power here going for, well, about Hyder going for relics, is actually Max Power going for relics. He's found 1, 2, 3. He knows he needs to find 2 more. Hyder knows where this one is. I think Hyder's goal, he's camping the scout here. Hyder's goal is to just prevent Max Power 973 from winning a relic victory before he can do whatever he wants to do. Hyder is a boomer. He likes to boom. Max Power 973, he's taken a stroll down here, but he misses the relic just barely. That is unfortunate for him. There are 2 relics which are somewhat in Hyder's favor, given that they're near the edge of the map. What do we got here? We got ourselves a scout fight. I think Hyder's actually going to win this. I think he got the first hit, and Max Power 973 has not invested in scout upgrades. He's invested in scout numbers, but not upgrades. So Hyder has 2 monks. He's got one here, and then he's got one over here. And he's actually going to try to get both relics, because why not? So Max Power coming over here with the Spearman. He's going to chase this scout away. And Hyder might not be able to get this relic. Okay, he does kill the scout. Yeah, Hyder has to seriously rethink this. He maybe is going to try to come around and sneak, but I don't think that's going to work out too well for him. No way. Yeah, he sees the scouts patrolling. He's going to come with his own scouts maybe and take a fight and then heal them. No, he's going to try to convert the Spearman. If he can convert the Spearman, then he could actually win this scout fight and get the relic. But Max Power does the smart thing and picks off the monk. That's probably what I would have done. And Hyder is not able to get that relic just yet. He's adding another town center here. He's at 39 villagers to Max Power's 33. Max Power has added 1 town center. And he is getting the light cab upgrade, so he is very serious. Actually, Hyder is getting the light cab upgrade as well. I noticed that this relic is missing, though. I wonder if Hyder got that. Yes, he did. Here comes the relic from Hyder. Actually was, yeah, so he did manage to get that finally. That was the one relic that he was sort of going for. Now, if Hyder knew that this relic was over here, he would go for it, but he doesn't know. So he cannot try to procure that relic. They're really just fighting over this one relic here. Max Power here has gotten 2 relics so far. Hyder's just gotten his first. So Max Power cannot win a relic victory anymore without some serious intrusion into Hyder's base, which would be a very big commitment. If Max Power at this point is able to win a relic victory, he could actually probably just win a conquest victory first. So relic victory without conquest is now in the realm, is no longer possible for Max Power. Hyder was able to prevent that. Got ourselves a light cav fight here, but I think the Spearman was barely converted in the nick of time, and now it belongs to Hyder, and he is chasing off Max Power. And Hyder's going to try to slip out, probably, with Monk. Yeah, here we go. So he's going to try to slip out and snag this relic. I don't know if Max Power has made any more scouts. It looks like he's got another light cav here. He probably assumes that Hyder is up to no good. I know I would. But we'll see if Hyder is able to evade these scouts. So that scout goes down. The scout has to run away. Hyder has targeted this scout for conversion. Alright, okay, so Max Power coming in with the Monk. He really wants that relic. I give the advantage to Max Power here in terms of who's going to get this relic. He does manage to snipe the Monk, so I believe that he will get it now. If he'd gotten the conversion on the Healthy Scout, there was a chance he could have killed, Hyder could have killed Max Power's Monk, but now I think this relic belongs to Max Power, and I think Hyder's going to give it up. He's on a 3-town center boom. He's got a 12-villager lead. 64 villagers to 53 now. He's only got one relic though. Max Power is going to get at least 3 relics, potentially 4 if he's able to find this over here, but nobody knows about that relic. Let's see. Hyder doesn't know about that relic, and Max Power does not know about it either, so hasn't found it. But with map control, now that he's kind of cleared out and he's not worried about picking up a relic somewhere and losing a Monk to scouts, he may end up scouting the map and finding it. We'll have to see. Okay. He stops short. Coming around. No, he's going the wrong way. I don't think he's going to find it. So let's talk about what they're going to go into. We see Hyder is building archery ranges. Archers seem to be popular on this map. I seem to recall Chinese versus Ethiopians or something like that on this map. Ronald Rage versus Alexander. I don't know why. Everybody just loves their archers, but this is pretty annoying right here. Max Power is going to come and pick off at least 1 villager, maybe even 2 villagers. He gets the 1. Hyder would really like these ranges to go up, so he's sending more villagers to build them. He is making archers now. He's getting the crossbow upgrade. He has 1 relic, and Mark Blanders, aka Max Power 973, has 3 relics. Nobody has taken this relic down here. So the players are not good at finding their relics on this map, or at least not so far. If I remember correctly, Ronald Rage and Alexander, when they played on this map, also failed to find one of the relics. Okay, so Max Power building some outposts here. He wants to keep an eye on what Hyder is doing. I believe that these outposts are sufficient for him. I mean, he can't quite see what's at the ranges, but if they walked in front of them, he could see. And of course, he had a scout come through here, so he knows that his opponent is going into archers. He is, however, not going into archers. He's getting infantry upgrades, which I think is pretty interesting, and he's making barracks. So I'm wondering if we're going to see lots of condotieros, maybe with Pavise. Pavise condotieros would be pretty good, but I feel that he will need bombard cannons to be able to flatten archers a little bit more reliably. This outpost could be really big, actually, if he gets to build. There's a bear here. The bear will try to interfere with the outpost construction. He's coming over here, and he's going to wall this section off, so he's got a little safe corner to take wood in, which I like. Hyder getting Bracer and Chemistry. Guys, remember that archers are generally faster than infantry. I mean, you could, I mean, they didn't this time, but Hyder could have gone Castle Age crossbows and gotten a decent power spike from that. But even if you don't, it's still faster to go into archers in Imperial Age than infantry. However, with condotieros, it could be reasonably fast. Alright, so Max Power 973 is going to go Condottiero and Skirmisher. I think he's missing a lot of the Archer upgrades here. I think this is a mistake. I think he needs to go Onagers. They won't probably work long term, but they will buy him time. And then he could do whatever he wants with that time. Alright, so this outpost is up. Let's see if Max Power is able to see that relic finally. He is. He knows that that relic is there now. So if he spots it on the mini-map, he could go and send a monk after it. But now he's got bigger things to worry about. He wants to build a castle here to protect these minerals. I think that's pretty smart. I think that's a good castle location. He just has to be careful because Hyder is going to be ready before he is. So Hyder moving in with a Trebuchet. 95 villagers to Max Power's 96. So it's been a pretty even game so far. Max Power had fewer villagers earlier on. Hyder focused on booming instead of on obtaining relics. And because of that, he got a decent villager advantage, but Max Power did get more relics than he did. Max Power, is he going to snipe the Trebuchet? That's what this is all about. No, he fails to snipe the Trebuchet. I think Max Power, he needs bombard cannons. He's trying to go into these skirmishers here, but they only have fletching and they have no armor, so these Arbs are just going to rip right through them. He hasn't made a go for this relic, but he's a little preoccupied. He's somewhat busy. He's been expanding his walls, which I really like. I think this little diagonal here is cute. So he has counter trebuchets contesting the siege. Yeah, bombard cannons would be a godsend for him. Like, he could camp in the safety of this castle and just flatten these trebs with bombard cannons and buy himself a ton of time. Or onagers. Onagers have a way of humbling an archer mass. Alright, so these condos try again to snipe this trebuchet. They do succeed, but the castle goes down, which is a big loss. And Max Power calls the GG. His plan for a relic victory didn't quite work out, and I think condos was the right choice, but the skirmishers were not a good choice. He needed to invest his time into defensive siege weapons, but it was really just a minor mistake. These players are, from everything that I can tell, these players are equally matched. Hyder went with the faster strategy and was basically able to kill Max Power before Max Power and his relics and his late game army comp were able to come to full effect. And so I think if this game had gone on and Max Power had been able to buy time with siege weapons or something to that effect, this would have ended very differently. So with that, we will go and we'll cast the next game. Let's see. We've got another one on Nile Delta here. Alright, so this is a fun one. We have not seen this in Alchemy League Season 2 yet. So Nile Delta is like Nomad, but it's got like these big Team Island land masses here. But it's not like completely like Team Islands because you got a little bit more in terms of neutral islands here, and then you also have these safe corners. I'm excited for this one in the map pool because I think that this map could result in wonder victories, actually. We could see somebody get a wonder victory on this map in a way that might be difficult or uncommon on other maps. We see that they've decided to split islands. So Max Power 973 is playing as the yellow Japanese, and he's on the left big island. And Hyder is on the right big island, and he is playing as the gray Dravidians. So they're both naval civilizations. They both have good navy. we can see, interesting, Hyder is going to dock out here on this kind of outlying island. And apparently, I guess it's got more water surrounding it, so therefore there's more fish surrounding it. I guess there's a little shorefish there for the villager to work on, so it all works out, right? It'll be a good dock for him. The Dravidians, I think that their whole thing is they get a bonus where they don't need to build a house because docks provide housing population or something to that effect. He's already got 5 housing population, and he hasn't even finished his town center yet. So, yeah, it'll be 10, and I'm pretty sure Max Power, yeah, he's already built a house, and he has a town center, so that's 10, and this will make it 15. So he is started on this goat here. He's going to send more stuff, and otherwise it's just a Nomad build order. But unlike Nomad, there's not going to be... I mean, I guess there could be castle drops, but it'd be less likely to be a castle drop. There definitely won't be any tower rushes, not unless it gets, well, I don't know, it could get wild, I guess. There could be a situation where they build on the same island. That's always fun. See, I keep on saying there can't be this or there can't be that, but then I rethink it and I'm like, you know what? No, that could happen. But I do understand why this map is not as popular. Just because you could get to a stalemate situation, right, where an opponent has a ton of castles along the shoreline, and you're over here, and you're doing well, you managed your gold well, you set up a trade line with your team, whatever, and you just can't get in, and you can't invade them. What if somebody's Aztecs on this map, right? But with standard victory, I think it's a game changer. I think it changes what you can do on this map. Think about it. I mean, wouldn't it be like totally awesome if somebody had some crazy, like, Italians fast Imperial into a wonder build and then they spammed stone walls all along the edge? Wouldn't that be amazing? I would go crazy over that. That'd be so much fun to see somebody come up with that. It's more stuff, right? Why wouldn't you enable additional victory conditions? That's what I say. I think they should all count. I know. It can be very anticlimactic. Somebody has a wonder, you're killing them, or somebody has the relics, you're killing them, they're losing, and then all of a sudden they win just because they survive long enough. But I think that makes the game more fun. Not only because I'm usually that guy who's dying, but just because I think there's more to life than map control. I think there's more to life than spamming hussars until your opponent dies. So, I like them. I like the additional victory conditions. As long as I'm running Alchemy League, we'll do them. You can see that both players have set up a fishing economy here. They each have... Actually, Hyder with 3 fishing ships now and Max Power with 2. Japanese fishing ships, even though he has a little bit of a wood disadvantage early game, because he's got to build more houses, he'll make that up in time, because Japanese fishing ships do work faster, and they have twice the health. See, look at this, 120 hit points compared to 60. So, the Japanese will have a big advantage in the long term if Hyder allows Max Power 973 to just freely fish, but I don't think that will happen. What other naval bonuses do the Japanese get? Well, their galleys have a larger line of sight. And I think that's it. I think they have a pretty open tech tree for Navy, but that's not really a bonus. Everybody expects the bonuses. But no bonus. Just an open naval tech tree and faster fishing rate. So Hyder's going to come over here and with his transport. I'm wondering if he's like getting close to being done with the fish and he wants to move the villager home. Yeah, that's what this is. Oh no, he's going to move it now. What is this? Is this a sneak villager? No. This is I'm building another dock. This is Hyder optimizing the efficiency of his fishing ships. Here's how you got to look at it, I think. These docks, in effect, only cost Hyder 125 wood. Because if he were... Oh!
Sorry.
Oh, what is this? Oh, alright. Max Power decides he does not want a villager fight Hyder. He was going to build out here.
Hey.
But now he knows that Hyder has a dock here, so he's just going to build another dock here. I think they, for Dravidians, they cost 125, because it's like, for every dock that you build, you need one fewer house. And it's saving you one pop space, or it's saving you one house worth of wood, because you don't need to build that house. So that's why it only costs 125 net. Because you're going to be building those houses anyway. So let's keep track of how many docks everybody is building. We got 3 here for Max Power, and I think Hyder has only got 2. Now, it's important to mention that this third one is not built yet. So, if it's not built, he can't use it. But Max Power is clearly going to try and... well, he's going to go Navy action for sure, but he's going to go 3 docks, and he's going to try to overwhelm Hyder. And he's going to be up to the feudal age first, actually, and he's got more population, so I'm not really sure how he did that. I guess Hyder had a lot of idle town center time, enough to basically be 2 villagers worth, and that explains this, kind of, I guess. So, Hyder must have had just a rough Dark Age economy, and that could be an opportunity for Max Power to do some serious punishment. Oh, he's going into galleys. Interesting. So where's the blacksmith? There it is. Okay, so he's going to go into blacksmith, and the blacksmith will allow him to get fletching. Fletching is very important for these galleys. I think that Hyder will go fire ships. I think Hyder will know that nope, he's going galleys. Make a liar out of me. So Hyder does like galleys, but if you're behind in terms of the galley snowball, it can be pretty rough. What is this? Alright, so Max Power wants to do a sneak villager landing now, perhaps? Oh, yeah, they're both thinking it. Hyder needs to be very careful. So Max Power will know about this villager, though. It won't be very sneaky. So he's going to offload it. And yes, so those galleys managed to sink the transport ship. Now, if you are Max Power, you need to, like, do something about this immediately. But it seems like he's not reacting. Okay, he is sending a villager down there. And Hyder might try to build a stable or something and just raid and harass and disrupt his opponent's gold mining. Max Power now going to come over here and look for some damage. Maybe Hyder did that just to buy himself some time. Max Power with a numbers advantage here. He's been attacking the galleys, but I guess the 2 don't want to fight. For Max Power, it makes sense because he's got fishing ships he can kill, and for Hyder, it makes sense because he's outnumbered. And Max Power is still building some galleys. Now, what's going on down here?
Sorry.
So Hyder's just gonna hunt some ostrich, and Max Power is just kind of standing here waiting. I think he forgot, or he's not, maybe not forgotten, but his attention is focused somewhere else. Okay, here we go. Are we going to get the villager fight that everybody wants? He will have a villager health advantage. He's coming down this way. He's going to see these buildings, but he hasn't responded to that knowledge yet. All right, now he's going to come look for the villager. Maybe he thinks the villager went back this way. That's pretty bad luck, actually. But it's easy to have bad luck if you're distracted with galley micro, and I know I would be. So he's got 7 galleys, and Hyder somehow has gotten 7 galleys and 2 fire ships. So Hyder's been keeping ahead in ship production. The fire galleys are going to come here to tank arrows. Max Power does have some split up units. Oh, he's got a repair villager on this island. Well, that's pretty handy. He wants to win. He wants to make sure that he wins this naval engagement here. And he's microing down this fire galley. I think he's going to keep most of his galleys alive, but the repair villager goes down. So those fire galleys definitely paid off for Hyder because they basically made his entire galley mass useless. And then even though he lost them, Max Power lost the repair villager here. Where's Max Power's villager? Don't know, can't see it. Hyder building another dock. Max Power still looking for that confounded Hyder villager. He knows it's down here somewhere. He should just bite the bullet and build an outpost. That could help him. It would give him constant surveillance over a certain area. He's coming up this way. Yeah, he can't find it. Oh, man. That's rough. Okay, Max Power, his navy is up here. Hyder is getting ready to click up. Max Power actually is getting ready to click up as well. He's even a little bit closer. All he has to do is walk 2 tiles this way, and he's found it. Hyder is starting to mass fire ships. I thought that he might. Max Power raiding. He actually gets an important villager pick-off, I think. They have equal eco KDs. They've each killed 4 eco units of the other one. I think 3 fishing ships that each of them... Well, no, Hyder's still got some fishing ships working over here. So, but I saw 1 villager for each of them go down. And, you know, Hyder does not really seem that interested in trying to, like, pick off these galleys as they're created. There's a demolition raft here for Max Power. I think he should use it. I don't think he should engage until this demolition raft is in position. And he might even consider trying to snipe these galleys, because these galleys Hyder will use to stop the demolition raft. Meanwhile, Max Power down here still waiting to see something, but he doesn't see it right now. Just looking around. He's going to see the dead ostrich. And he thinks there's something down here. He knows there's a villager down here, but he just can't find it. He's going to chop this tree. Not really sure what he's waiting for. Must have been a misclick. So demolition raft still waiting. Both players are on their way up to the castle age. Hyder will be there first, but Max Power isn't too far behind, about 30 seconds behind. So when Hyder reaches the castle age, he'll get probably Bodkin first, and then he'll get War Galley. That would be my guess. Max Power with 11 ships. Hyder with 12. So they've got similar, but some of them are very injured. So they have similar navies here. Let's take a look at Max Power's search for Hyder's landed villager. Alright, he's coming back and he's just building outposts here. So can't find it, just going to build these here to see. And he destroyed the transport, so he knows it's still over here, unless Hyder deleted it somehow. He's just building these here in case Max Power, or in case Hyder decides to build a seed workshop, I guess, or more buildings, or more light cav. But he came very close to discovering it. Couldn't find it. He did find some goats, at least. Let's bring those home. So Hyder is here destroying Max Power's dock. Max Power, Hyder has gotten the ship upgrades. That's a big power spike. He's gotten the range upgrade. It'll be a big power spike for his war galleys. Dock went down and a ship went down for free. Max Power has reached the castle age. He has not clicked the war galley upgrade yet. He's coming down here to mess with this. Actually, if he just explored a little bit more, there are some fishing ships down here he could wreak havoc on. This would be a good win for him. Hey, Smokey, welcome. I'm looking forward to casting your sets when they happen. I think Max Power is in rough shape here. He's got 1 dock left, and so he's not really able to keep up with naval production. And Hyder keeps on buying. He's selling food and he's buying wood and gold. He wants to just use Navy and just take everything. Has Max Power just given up on Navy? I think he has. He's not attempting to build any more docks. He took a fight down here. He's found these fishing ships. And I think that's his plan is, you know, he's done with water. He'll kill as many villagers as he can with the ships that he's made. And he's getting economic upgrades. Like, he's getting Bosaw, he's adding another town center. So, are we going to see Max Power go for a wonder victory then? Because you really can't win on this map with Conquest if you don't have the water. But you can still win a wonder victory if you don't have the water. Okay, so finally, Max Power has... Oh, he's got a transport ship, and he has found an enemy dock, and he's certainly going to see this. Yeah, he sees it. He's got an outpost here. Hyder is building a stable. Hyder wants to build probably knights. Actually, did Dravidians even get knights? I don't even know. They're one of those weird Indian civs. So Max Power is going to come and wall this in, and he's going to shank this villager. Although his own villager is weaker, so that's not going to go so great. He has elephants. Oh, that's true, Smokey. Elephants and light cab. That still sounds like more than enough to be very annoying. Is he making them? It doesn't look like Hyder is making anything right now. Oh! Oh, oh, oh! Look at this. Max Power with a landing on Hyder. So this is what I needed to see. So Hyder, Max Power apparently has some knights over here. I don't know what happened to the villager. I think Hyder must have killed it, because I don't see it. He's got some goats. He was able to build two stables. I don't think this is going to be enough to defeat Hyder. Hyder has made some monks to defend with. Yeah, there they are. So these knights are waiting for their doom. The only way that they can get healed is for them to be converted first. I predict that he will have to delete them. Unless Hyder doesn't pay attention. Alright, there's some light cav here. These light cav are headed up for a raid against Hyder. I think there are 2 relics on each island. And I would love to see Max Power go for a wonder, but I don't know that he will. Apparently he has more galleys. I wonder... Oh, he's gone back into them. Alright, so he's decided to go galleys just to kind of catch Hyder off guard. Hyder has some navy down here, but he's also sent some navy up here. But he hasn't invested in the war galley upgrade yet. So he does manage to overpower that fire ship. So they've got some fights in some different places. Hyder has just gotten the pikeman upgrade to help him fight off these light cabs. Luckily for Hyder, there is no siege workshop here. Or there's no remaining villager, I should say, from Max Power. Could you imagine if Max Power had a villager and he just built a castle right here? He's got the stone for it. That would be pretty strong. So, Max Power getting War Galley now, which I think is a worthwhile investment for the most part on this map. Okay, so this castle right here tells us a lot about his plans. This castle tells us that a wonder is not in the plan at all. This castle tells us that there are going to be like 5 or 6 docks underneath it, and he is going to go for a water push. And he's going to try to go Imperial Age sooner rather than later, I think. But this castle will allow him to build more docks and go back on water. That's the ultimate plan here. He's hoping maybe his aggression on land has disrupted Hyder. How are we doing for armor? These light cav have no armor upgrades. Makes sense. You're Japanese. Do you really want to go into that? Do you really want to go there, is the question. So, Hyder mysteriously building a defensive siege workshop. I don't really know what that's all about. He doesn't really need one. He's not being pressured by archers or anything. Or siege weapons. But maybe he doesn't know that his opponent doesn't have a villager here anymore. That's probably the case. But yeah, Max Power's landing on Hyder was so sneaky, we didn't even see it. And we have full vision over everything. So he did manage to get 2 stables and a barracks down. So, I mean, it's mildly effective. Ooh, he wants a town center here on this stone. There are some light cav, but there are too many pikemen at this point to deny that town center. So I don't think he's going to go for it. I think his attention is more so over here and building up his naval power. He's getting Bodkin Arrow now. And he's going to need that. He's needed that a long time ago, but at least he's getting it now. But I foresee that Hyder will... Oh, wait a second. Hyder has an armored elephant. Okay, this armored elephant is for the purpose of taking these stables down. He's tired of the raids. He's tired of cavalry randomly showing up at his wood line and stuff over here and making his pikemen run around. So I guess it makes sense. So he is going to fight this off eventually. This armored elephant is just going to use his tusks and he's going to tear through the walls of the building and eventually knock it down. So Hyder is on his way up to Imperial Age. This is very dangerous for Max Power. Max Power needs to sell resources and click up as soon as possible, because as soon as you research chemistry now, you get the cannon galleons. And if you're one of those Dromon civilizations, like the Byzantines, or the Romans, or the Goths, or the Huns, do the Goths get Dromons? It would make a lot of sense if they did, but something tells me that they don't for some reason. This is a good win here, though, for Max Power. Catching these fishing ships off guard like that just takes down 2, and maybe you can get a 3rd. But no, Dravidians are not a Dromon civilization. They are a Cannon Galleon civilization. So he will have to get chemistry. But even still, you know, once the Cannon Galleons start rolling, this castle will be in great peril. The good news is that chemistry takes longer to research than Imperial Age, I believe. And Max Power is on his way up to Imperial Age, and Hyder is still going. So there will not be a situation where there will be cannon galleons attacking this castle with Max Power still only in Castle Age. Max Power will be in Imperial Age by the time cannon galleons start pressuring this castle here, which is important for him. He's expanded down here. I think it's just funny that Hyder just built this dock here and then just apparently somehow left. Max Power couldn't find him for the longest time, and then he just went home. So we have an armored elephant and an unarmored elephant here. Hyder with Imperial Age, first thing he's going to do is get Bracer. He's going to get Handcart. He's going to get Galleon. Very smart. And the Galleon will enable him to win naval engagements. I believe that he just got Ballistics too. Max Power 973 is getting Fast Fire Ship, which I love. I think it's a great choice. Fast Fire Ships will be very effective at soaking the ranged attacks. Oh! What is this? Thericidies. Now, I have not seen this unit in a long time. I couldn't even tell you how good they are. I think these ones get the weird, like, catapult-like projectile or something. I don't even know. They're so tanky. Look at them. 250 HP, 9+3 attack. Galleons are 8+3. They have a ton of pierce armor. But they're slow to create and they're very expensive. Okay, so we have some fast fire ships here. They must have hopped out of nearby docks or something. Or maybe they were just there the whole time and I just didn't say anything about them. That's actually probably more likely, considering that these docks belong to Hyder. So I actually still think these fast fire ships are going to prevail here. I think there are not enough Thyrsidae. Alright, Thyrsidae goes down. A little bit of a fire ship battle here. It looks like Hyder's made some fire ships of his own, and he's also gotten the fast fire ship upgrade. So this is where you need Byzantines. Byzantine fast fire ships are just OP. But this battle has gone well for Max Power. You know, he has destroyed Hyder's navy, right? And that's what he set out to do. Hyder's a little bit more advanced. You know, he's getting shipwright. I think he's got more technology. He's got a few more options. He's got these Thyrsidae. But Max Power has been ferocious on water. He's played it aggressively. He did this landing, and I think it kind of confused Hyder. I think Hyder assumed that after Max Power had sort of lost water, that he was kind of going for broke on that landing. But Max Power shifted back to Navy in a way that none of us were expecting, probably including Hyder. And he's benefiting from that, because I think Hyder was a little overconfident. Hyder, though, has the long-term economy here. He has managed to rebuild his navy. I'm not really sure how, to be honest. I guess he just rushed up a bunch of docks. Max Power 973, he's getting shipwright now. He's going to need that long-term. He still has gold on his island. He's building another mining camp here to take this gold. Hyder with similar resource count. I think on this map it's very important to take good fights. You need to be resource efficient. Okay, there is cannon galleon here. This is what Hyder needs to break in. This cannon galleon will siege this castle, although it's focusing on the dock first, which I think is a mistake. Because it's basically giving the castle extra hit points. Because the castle is really what's in his way, preventing him from coming in here. Another castle coming down for Max Power. I think he needs to be building like 6 docks down here, and he needs to just sell that stone. What do you guys think? Would selling the stone be the right thing to do? It seems that he's really hurting for gold. You know, there's no number of castles that he can build on the coastline that will ultimately benefit him. He should probably also get the relics. Hyder's gotten both of his relics on his island, and Max Power has gotten none of the relics, which is a mistake. Those relics will amount to thousands of relic gold by the end of the game. They each need to keep producing constantly. That's true, Smokey. So Smokey's saying that constant production is the most important thing to maintain your army mass. It looks like Max Power has broken out with some fire ships, and he's going to come in here and he's going to make a charge, but I don't think whether they need to sell stone or food. Agreed. But, you know, I get the feeling, I hate selling stone. Hate it. Stone is such a useful resource. It's probably the most important resource in the game. But, you know, Max Power has made this commitment to naval domination, and he needs to follow through with it. He's invested in fast fire ship, he's invested in shipwright, he's invested in galleon, he's invested in all of these things. And if you're going to do that, then you need to sell your stone. Like, if you weren't going to go Navy and you were going to play the time game and you were going to try to stall your opponent out and build a wonder, that's fine, you know. Start building the wonder. And don't build all these castles right at the edge. Maybe build them in slightly so that it's awkward when an opponent unloads with a trebuchet. You could maybe run forward with some light cabs or something and snipe the trebuchet. Or catapult trebuchets or something. I really think a plausible, a wonder victory is very plausible on this map. Max Power not fighting with these fire ships, and he's got more fire ships up here. I think he needs to regroup back here. Stop taking bad fights. If you take bad fights, Hyder will have more resources in the end than you. Did he get the relic? No, he's not gotten the relic yet. So I give the advantage to Hyder here. Max Power has played well, but Hyder seems to have the APM here. He seems to notice more stuff, slightly more than Max Power, even though Max Power has good strategies. That multitasking. If this were Tech Chair, there would be like 12 relics, and none of them would be gotten though. So I can't really criticize him. Like, if it were me, there could be 12 relics, and the benefit to getting them would be completely, totally obvious, and I still wouldn't do it. I'd be like, I'm too busy winning. And then my opponent would outlast me with gold. Just a big fire ship brawl. Look at this. Cannon Galleon helping out. Thanks. He wants to snipe the Cannon Galleon, actually, which is pretty smart because they're expensive. It's 150 wood and 150 gold, so I think you could build, like, 2 fire ships with those resources. However, Hyder is going to win this fight. Too busy tower rushing on arena. Yeah, exactly. In my defense, you cannot get relics if you're perpetually in the feudal age. I learned from the best, though, Smokey. What can I say? I learned from the best. Somebody tried tower rushing me on arena, and I was so impressed by how much fun it seemed that I decided I couldn't. I had to try it myself. Alright, now this is interesting. Look at this right here. Hyder has decided to land. He's decided it is time. And he's landing Max Power. And Max Power doesn't know about it. He does not have vision into this corner of the map, which is unfortunate. He can see everywhere else except right here. This is the one spot he can't see. And Hyder is investing in siege elephants. But he's making light cap. He might make siege elephants later. Smokey knows, of course, yes. There is a relic down here. I think it'd be funny if Hyder sent his monk down here and grabbed this. But nope. He's sprung the trap, if you will, and he's rushing in with some light cav now. And those light cav are going to go see if they can cause some trouble. The castle did help. It felled like 3 light cav. This light cav only have the castle age upgrades, and of course the chemistry is in for Max Power, so he's all decked out for Navy. That means his castle's going to do a ton of range damage. And now Hyder has light cavs just running around back here, which is something that Max Power just can't deal with right now. He's going to have a hard time dealing with this. If you're Max Power, what do? You probably villager fight this for now. But each villager would only do 1 damage per hit against the light cav, so it's kind of rough. I guess you have to build out of your barracks. It looks like he has built a barracks. He rushed one up with some villagers here. And meanwhile, he's also still fighting Hyder on water. I think Hyder still outnumbers him, though. So, again, Hyder will win this fight, and he'll lose fewer resources from that. So let's take a look at the KD here. Actually, the KD is pretty good for Max Power. He's got more kills than deaths. Oh. Well, okay, this could probably be part of the reason why. Apparently, Max Power landed some samurai up here, and I just didn't see it. To be fair, I probably would have seen it if I got the attack notification, but of course I didn't. So this explains why the Eco KD is decent for Max Power. And it probably also explains why he doesn't care so much about this. Because he's over here, attacking Hyder. He's got Samurai. And, okay, he's gonna build a monastery, and even though he's not getting his own relics, he's gonna come and get Hyder's relics, which is pretty funny. Yeah, this is a great samurai landing. Look at that. Smokey with the 2K map awareness. Smokey sees the minimap at all times. He can feel the presence of the minimap. Like the ring wraiths can feel the presence of the one ring from the Lord of the Rings. That's how Smokey feels about the minimap. The minimap is his ring of power. Alright, so he's going to tear these houses down. This will actually house Hyder, which will be pretty annoying. We add these up. Actually, Hyder still has the 200 population capacity, so he's going to have to destroy some more houses. Hyder has gone into hand cannons to stop the samurais. These are just regular skirmishers. They are not elite skirmishers, and Max Power calls the GG. So I guess he just did not respond to this raid. He had his own samurai landing here with some skirmishers, and that could have been effective, but he didn't. Maybe like 10 pikemen over here and it would have been fine. Or even if he had if these were his stables instead, or if he had walled this off, it could have been a different game. But I would say pretty close. I would say the big mistake that that Max Power made was not getting his own relics, and probably not taking fantastic fights here. He lost too much to the light cav. Yeah, he's got 42 villagers left. But nevertheless, I think that they were still very competitive games. And I'm looking forward to seeing what these players do in subsequent rounds of the tournament. We've broken the tournament up into 2 sprints that are each worth half of the total prize pool. So, you know, even if Max Power has some rough games and he's just getting used to the settings for the first sprint, like he can still be motivated to continue in the second sprint because those scores reset. So, all right, guys, I got to go to bed. It's 10:30. Got to get up at 6:30 tomorrow morning to go to work. I know it's a new phenomenon for me, but in theory it means I can sponsor bigger tournaments. So I think it's worth it at this point, now that we've built a community and we've built some tools and we have a decent system in place. I gotta finalize how exactly we're gonna do some, you know, the new Alchemy Alliance thing. It's kind of the big thing that's holding me back. It's figuring out who is going to be in charge of what. So that's why the Discord has been pretty quiet lately. But guys, have a great night. Thank you for joining, and hopefully I will see you again soon.